Hello and thanks for joining me for my absolute beginner's guide for Kenshi. So if you are a veteran Kenshi player, there will be some links in the description below for some other Kenshi playlists that I've done that are a little bit more advanced. But this is for the complete beginner that's only just starting out the game for the first time. You're going to have your menu screen here and click on New Game. It's going to bring up this little box here where you choose your starting scenario, and we're going to have a look at each of these scenarios to decide which one is going to suit you best. So we'll take a deep dive into those. I will put chapters or timestamps down in the description if you want to skip ahead to a specific one. We'll also go through the various races within the game that you can choose for your characters. We've got these advanced options here. I'm not going to go through those. Those are something that you can play around with at your own will later on when you've got a handle for the game. I'm just going to leave them as they are, but they can change, like how quickly your characters get hungry and certain other things. So I'm not going to muck around with them today. So alright, so we've got a bunch of different beginnings, and as it says, choose your beginning. So Kenshi is a vast game, and whatever you do is basically up to you. This is just how you start out, and as a new player, this is definitely going to affect your ability to survive. As a more seasoned player, well, you should be able to get yourself through most of these beginning scenarios and then go out and do whatever you want from there. Most of them are not going to affect much of your end game, although a couple of them will determine whether you have starting enemies or friends in the game. But we're going to start off with the default, the Wanderer. We're going to hit begin. That is going to chuck you into a loading screen, which will take a few moments, and it'll pop you into a character creation screen. And it's going to give you a random human character usually in here. Now if you hold down or click and hold your middle mouse button or your mouse wheel, you can drag it around to get a look at him from all angles. You can zoom in and out with the mouse wheel. Okay, not going to focus too much on this side, but you can, muck around with customization and whatever, different bits and bobs. You can, change hair and all that sort of crap. That's up to you. I'll leave you to that. We are going to be more focused up in this top corner here. So up here, this first box, this is the character's name. Alright, so you can click in there and then you can change this to whatever you wish. Now, if you've done all your character customization, you can click export, and then when you start up a new game, you can click import and you can import your customization. Not gonna go too deep into that at the moment. This here is just so that you can have a look at what your character looks like without his clothes on while you're mucking around with your different customization. We can see we've got the race here. There are several races to choose from. Some of those have sub-races. Some of those do not have genders. We'll see down here, change character 1 of 1. So the Wanderer start, we only have one character, so we can't move this. So what we're looking at here at the moment, this is a human Greenlander character. Now, male and female does matter, or can matter. So without giving away too much or too many spoilers, there are certain factions in the game, well, there's a lot of factions in the game that control and patrol different areas of the world, and some of those factions are sexist and racist, mainly racist towards anything non-human, but also there are some that are sexist, so these choices do actually matter. If you want the least aggressive start, then you're going to want to go for a male human. Doesn't matter about the subrace. Doesn't mean that you are not going to get attacked by people, but you will have a bit less aggression to deal with. But that's entirely up to you. There's absolutely no reason that you can't play with any of these options. But we're going to have a look at specifically the Greenlander, male or female, doesn't matter. We're going to have a look down here at this section. Now you also have a race description. This is specific to the subrace. I'll let you read that on your own computer when you boot it up and get to this screen. But we have hit points, and we have these bonuses for stats. So you have a ton of different skills in Kenshi, and the way you level up your skills in Kenshi is either by using those skills or doing very specific activities that raise those skills. And any character is capable of doing and using all skills. However, the Greenlander gets a 20% bonus with their experience that they gain in these skills. So they're going to level up these 3 skills a lot quicker. So your Greenlander does come in a variety of skin colors. Keep that in mind. But if we go now across to the Scorchlander, unlike the Greenlander, the Scorchlanders are always going to be very dark skinned, and they're usually always going to have white hair. Now you can adjust that in here, but any that you meet out in the world, they are going to have white hair. If we have a look at the Scorchlander stats, 100 hit points. There is also a little blurb here specifically about the Scorchlander subrace. But we've got bonuses in different skills for the Scorchlander than the Greenlander. And if you want a good armor smith or weaponsmith, then Scorchlander is what you want to choose. But they also take a penalty in these skills: farming, cooking, labouring, strength. They're going to level those up slower, and these ones faster. So, okay. Alright. So something to note about humans is, being biological creatures, they do need to eat. And your Greenlander, they will only eat properly cooked and prepared food, whereas your Scorchlander, well, they can also eat raw meat. So something to keep in mind. The Greenlanders will not eat raw meat. Has to be cooked, but the Scorchlander will eat it raw if that's all you've got. But it's easy enough to cook meat. That shouldn't really be an issue if you know how to do it. Okay, so let's move on to the next race, which is the skeletons. And the skeletons are not your traditional skeleton as in bones. Skeleton is the name of a race of robots that inhabit the moon of Kenshi, where the game is set. There's a ton of lore. There's a little bit of information there that you can read when you log into the game yourself. I'll let you read that. There is a ton of lore about skeletons that you can find throughout the game, so I'm not going to spoil too much of that for you. But there's a lot of material on their involvement in how the world of Kenshi come into its current state. You can see up here there is no subrace or gender, although there are different subraces of skeletons out in the world. Just none that we can choose as our character. If we have a look at the stats here, we can see a whopping 200 hit points. You're going to level up quicker in heavy weapons, robotics and turrets. You're going to level up slower in stealth, thievery and dodging. Okay. Alright, so other things to note about skeletons is that they cannot wear hats or helmets, can't wear shoes or boots, and they can't wear shirts or vests. They can wear body armor and leg armor. They are very limited in what sort of protective gear that they can get. The other thing to note, being robots, skeletons do not eat food, so you don't need to ever worry about food as a skeleton. However, on the other hand, skeletons cannot be healed with normal medical items. You have to have specified skeleton repair kits or repair beds to fix up a skeleton. And in none of the start scenarios will you ever start with a skeleton repair kit, and the skeleton repair kits can be very expensive. So look, skeletons can become very, very powerful characters. They are one of my favourite races to play. Would I recommend it for your first time playing? Probably not. Once you've got a handle on the game and you know how to make a bit of money and be able to get yourself a repair kit, then I would give it a go. But for your first playthrough, probably stick with a human. Alright, so I think that covers everything to do with skeletons. It is also worthy to note that there are factions out in the world that really hate skeletons and will attack skeletons on sight. Just something to be aware of. So, moving on to the next race. We have... Oops, did I skip one? No, it's just in a different order than it normally is. Alright, so we've got the Shek. And the Shek are basically an ogre-like race. Pretty big and beefy. They got horns on their heads. We do have male and female versions of them. So these guys, we have a look at up here. We don't have any sub races, but have a look at their stats. 125 hit points, so more than a human. Going to gain experience in toughness, attack and strength faster than normal, but got a whole bunch of things here that we're going to level up slower. So these guys make good fighters, but they're not going to be great at anything else. Doesn't mean they can't do these things. It just means they'll level them up a little bit slower than normal. So you want fighters, these are the guys to go for. One thing to note though is that your Shek they will only eat cooked food. However, they do eat a lot, so they will consume twice as much food as a human. Something to keep in mind. But other than that, if survival is your main priority and you want a fighter, then Shek could be the way to go. That is up to you. So let's move on now to the Hiver. And the Hivers are basically, well, they're like a race of insect people. You can see up here we do have sub-races. There's no gender. Okay, they don't have any dangly bits. So basically, and this race description is specific to the sub-race. But typically your Hivers, if you think of like a colony of ants or a beehive, they all serve a queen, and that's why these guys are genderless. This sub-race of Prince comes with 80 hit points. Okay. He's going to level up in a lot of sneaky stuff and some sciencey stuff. Being a prince though, not that good at labour, working, strength. But, you know, pretty good at a few other things. Just a lower than average amount of hit points there. So, moving on to the sub-race of the worker drone. And these guys have different heads. Pretty much the same everywhere else though. Once again, we've got a description here specific to the sub-race. If we have a look at the stats here, we've got more hit points than a human as a worker drone. Going to level up in toughness and dexterity and athletics and stealth, but also pretty good at farming and labouring and engineering, which is building. Not so good with strength, science or cooking. So that's your worker drone. Alright. And we've got a third sub-race, which is your soldier drone. So these guys, different head again, but the same everywhere else. These guys have a whopping 200 hit points. They're going to gain up in toughness and attack a lot quicker than normal. But all of these other skills, they're going to gain a bit slower. So these guys are going to make really good fighters. Your hit points are pretty much a permanent thing. They will not really change. They can change if you lose an arm or a leg, which you can do. But other than that, these do not go up or down. You don't gain extra as you gain levels. You're stuck with what hit points you've got. So these guys, much like the skeleton, pretty tough. Not much good at other things. All right, so thing to note about the Hivers. Of all three varieties, none of them can wear shoes. They can wear hats, they can wear body armor, they can wear leg armor. When it comes to the chest area, just shirts or vests, they can only wear specific items that are made specifically for the Hiver race. As far as food is concerned, your Hivers will eat half as much food as a human does, so they don't eat as much. The Prince, much like the Scorchlander, will eat raw meat. The other two, the worker drone and the soldier drone, they'll also eat raw meat, but they can also eat foul rotting meat, which is something that can be found on some of the wildlife, or gathered from some of the wildlife that's out in the world. The Prince however, will not eat the foul rotting meat. So these guys, the worker drone, the soldier drone, much easier to feed, and hivers all up do not eat as much food as anybody else. So I think that pretty much covers the races. So we are in the Wanderer start. So we'll hit confirm there, and we'll have a quick look here. Now all of this, all of the UI and the controls, I will go over in a separate video. Today we're just looking at what our start scenario is. So this is for the Wanderer. Let's take a quick look at the map. And this is where it starts us, this place called the Hub. This is the entire map of Kenshi. It is rather large, but it is going to start us in this sort of derelict city here. Okay, we do have a pub here with a shopkeeper in it. There is a tower up this end that has some ninjas in it. Other than that, everything's all derelict. There are some buildings that you can buy and fix up. As far as things go, this is considered the newbie area. We have factions. There are tons of factions, and as you come across more factions, they will add to your list. But we're on pretty neutral terms with everybody. The dust bandits are always going to be a bit nasty towards everybody, no matter what. All right, so down here we've got 1,000 cats. That's our money. And as far as our inventory is concerned, we start off with an iron club. Sometimes it'll be a worse quality than that. That's still not great, but it's something. And we've got a little bit of rag covering our dangly bits. So that's all you're going to start with as the Wanderer. As far as stats are concerned, we've got all ones and zeros in here. So we are right at the bottom of the ladder in this start. So that's what you can expect from the Wanderer start. So I'm going to go in for a new game here. Now, I would never recommend starting a new game from within a game that's already running. That can cause you some bugs. You can get some of the things from the current game kind of transfer into the new game and muck things up, and have missing NPCs or doubled up on NPCs. So I would never recommend starting a new game from within a game. Always exit properly, reboot the game properly, and start a new game. But just for the sake of the recording, so that I don't have to completely boot everything up again to keep the video going, I'm just going to do it from within here. So keep that in mind, guys. All right, so next on our list is the Wandering Trader. This time I'm not going to go through all of the races, but this one is 0 starting money. We do start with a pack animal. So let's go into that one. This once again will bring us into the character creation screen. And it'll chuck out a random human usually. In this case we got a female. You can see that she has a backpack and she has a bit more clothing than the Wanderer. You can choose any race you wish. It's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Put it back to what she was. Change the name up here as per normal. But if we have a look over here, we now have the option, we have one of two. Okay, so if we click on here, brings us to our second character, which is this guy. This guy is our pack bull. Now we can't customize anything here. His hit points will change as he grows up. He's going to be starting off as a young bull. You can change his name. Change his name just like our characters. Yeah, you can purchase these animals out in the game as well if you want more. But in this instance, I'm going to start with one. And all right, so I'll start off. Now these guys here, the free traders, they are not our allies, but their leader here is addressing us. So as I mentioned before, there are particular NPCs that can be racist and sexist. Because we are a female, this particular NPC likes females, and so they're saying something nice to us. If we were a male, they'd be calling us a buffoon or a gorilla or something. If we were a skeleton, should probably attack us on sight. So this is where your choices can make a difference. But anyway, let's have a quick look at the map. So in this case, for this start, the last one, we were down in this area. But for this one, we start off up here. And you can see that this is green. And that is because it is controlled by the Traders Guild. And with the Wandering Trader start, we start off as allies with the Traders Guild. And that's a free trader, so our separate. Dust Bandits hate everybody. This list will grow as we come across more people. All right, so if we have a look, you can see there's actually two different locations there. If I zoom out, this is the Trader's Edge, and this is the town of Heng. It's separated by this little bridge here, so they are two separate areas in the one spot. So if you have allies that are close by, they will heal you up. Although they typically don't always carry repair kits, so if you are a robot, they may not heal you up. All right, so let's have a look. If we have a look at our bull and any other animal that you have, you've still got all your list of skills. I don't know why they put them in here. You will never be using any of these skills with your bull. They can never be an armor smith. They can't do anything but move, fight. So you can ignore most of this. What you're interested in is combat, attack, strength, toughness. Okay, and if we have a look over here, it's got an age of teen. If you can keep this animal alive, then eventually it will grow up to be an adult, and then it'll grow up to be an elder, and it'll become much tougher and it'll have much more hit points as it grows up. So they do work a little bit different to your other characters. And if we have a look at the inventory, it has this massive pack on it, and you can fit a lot of stuff in here. Hell of a lot of stuff. Most of it's stackable. So if we have a look now at our character, all ones for the stats. Occasionally you might get ones and zeros. If we have a look at the inventory, we have a backpack, and this is a backpack that does stack items, or certain items. We start off with 2 first aid kits, 2 bowls of food. You will need to feed your pack animal as well. And we've also started off with some items that you can sell and some actual armor. It's not great armor, but it's better than just a loincloth. So don't have any money, but you can sell these items, get yourself some money. So that is your Wandering Trader start and what you can expect with that. So next on the list, we are going to check out the Holy Sword. So this one is going to start you off with a wanted criminal status, 100 cats in cash. This is going to be another single player start. And of course, regardless of what start, you can pick up other characters to join your squad throughout the game. Some of them will join you for free. Others you will have to pay a fee for them to join you. But see, with this start, we start off with different clothing, and look at that big old sword there. Okay. You can choose any race you like for this start, so I won't go through them. And this one, this is going to put us back in the hub, so in that starting area again. Occasionally it might put you in an outpost around, somewhere around the area. But 9 out of 10 times it's going to put you in here. Now if we have a look over here though, we've got a bounty of 20,000k. And this bounty will never expire. And if you hover over it, it brings up this little box in the thing. Now, we're not wanted by the local faction, so we're not in the territory of the people who have the bounty on us. If we are, that would be highlighted in white, but we are wanted by not one but 2 factions for 20,000 cats. That's how much they pay to for somebody to catch us and hand us in. If we have a look at the factions, not only are we wanted, so you can have a bounty with someone doesn't necessarily mean that that they hate you, but in this case, we are hated by two factions, 2 pretty powerful factions, maxed out on bad relations with them. So you do start with enemies in this scenario. We have 100 cats, not much. However, if we have a look here, okay, we've got partially used first aid kit. We've got a shirt that doesn't really do much. Got some pants that help with sneaking, and some ninja rags that do have a couple of sneaky bonuses. But then we have this sword, and that is a pretty good sword. Now that will be random. Sometimes we get an edge type 1, an edge type 2, or an edge type 3. That is going to be random, but it's going to be a pretty darn good sword. Pretty similar in price. Look at the price on that. So you could just go straight out and sell that sword if you wanted to, and get yourself a cheaper one. And then that would give you a bit of starting cash. But that is basically, let's have a look at stats. Stats are a bit over the place. We've got between -2s up to 3s and 0s. So a little bit randomized on the stats there, but no stats worth talking about anyway. So that is the Holy Sword start, what you can expect with that particular start. So let's go now to the next one, Cannibal Hunters. Okay, we'll have a quick look at this. This is not one that I would recommend for a new player at all. This one will give you 2 characters right off the bat. Every time you do this start, you will have randomized equipment, but we do have, as you can see here, do have 2 characters. Okay. You can have, yes, you are able to choose any race you like. That's not a problem. But as soon as we start, I'm going to hit pause right there. Okay. So we have our 2 characters here. But you can see these red lines mean that we're under attack. So as soon as we start, we are already under attack. Okay, there's one of our characters. There's the other one. These guys are all cannibals. And you see how I mouse over them, they turn red. They're all hostile towards us. They want to eat us. We go into the map. It starts us off in their village. It's red because they are 100% hostile towards us and they'd like to eat our arms and legs. We have 9 cents between us. We have a look. We've got a couple of points in a few things here on the first character. And we do have some stealth, lockpicking and medical skill on the second character, which is handy, but still, if you're not experienced, this is going to be a tough situation to get out of. We have a look at our inventories. Like I said, this armor will be randomized, so you're not always going to get the same stuff as what's here, but you will have some armor, some first aid, and a weapon. And on the second character, similar deal. So you won't always have this particular armor. You may have something different. This one comes with a splint kit, but that's what you can expect for the Cannibal Hunters start. That is going to be a tough situation to get out of. So I definitely would not recommend that for your first playthrough. So let's go have a look now at the next one. It's going to be the Hive Exile. So let's go in there and look at that one. So this one, you'll notice that we can only be of the Hive race because we are a Hive Exile. You can change your name. You can choose your sub-race. We have no clothes. And your stats are based the same as when we went through the races before. So we hit confirm and we'll have a quick look on the map. And it has put us in a Hive village over here. But you're not necessarily going to always start here. So dotted throughout this area, all the way up here, down here, up here, even up here even. There are Hive villages all around and it can put you randomly in any one of those. In this instance, put us in this one. And if we have a look at these structures here, these are the Hiver, the Western Hive's buildings in this village. You can see we have no money. We have nothing at all in our inventory. Our stats are all 1s and 0s. And, okay, so these guys, this village, they are Hivers. But, whoops. Now, they are not hostile with us, but we are in exile, and they will not trade with us. And so all of this area it does have some pretty dangerous wildlife that's going to be a little tough to get through to get to somewhere that you can actually deal with. So I probably wouldn't recommend this start for a new player either. So it can be a fun challenge, but on your first run, I'd probably avoid this particular start. So, okay, moving on. Next in line, son of a captain. So, your father was respected in the United Cities, which is one of the major factions. And, he's left you his sword. So you're going to start off with them, with the United Cities as your allies, but you're also going to have the Holy Empire as your enemies. So let's have a look. This is another solo start. Okay, and you can choose any race you like for this one. You can see it looks a bit better equipped. Do all your customization, but we're just going to move along. And we can see that has put us in the hub. Sometimes that might put you in an outpost, but 9 out of 10 times it's going to put you in the hub again. We can see here he has no money. Does start off with a bit of food, some medical supplies, a half decent sword. Now you might get a different quality sword than that, but it's usually going to be not the worst. It's not the best, but it's not the worst. A little bit of armor. And as far as stats go, it's all ones. Now if we have a look here. Okay. The Holy Nation are 100% our enemies. The United Cities, they are 100% our allies. But this starting area is neither of those guys' territories, although the Holy Nation will occasionally, every now and then, might wander up this way. But that is what you can expect. That's what you can expect for the son of a captain. So, next on the list, we have the slaves. This one I would not recommend for new players. This one does take patience and a bit of experience to get out of. But we'll have a quick look. So this one, you're going to start off with 2 characters. You are going to start off as a slave. And you can see here we've got our slave garb on and we're shackled. We've got 2 characters here. You can choose. Alright. So you can choose most of the races, but you cannot choose skeleton for this start. And I think they do that because the slaver guards don't carry they don't carry skeleton repair kits on them. Whereas, so the slaver guards, they'll beat you up and they'll knock you out, but they'll heal you up. But because they don't carry skeleton repair kits, if they beat you up, they're not going to heal you up. So I think that's why they don't let you be a skeleton. But anyway, as you can see, we've got this big chain over our portrait here. It is marked as escaped slaves. If we zoom out, we are in a big slaver camp. So it is going to start you off over here in Rebirth, which is this big slaver camp owned by the Holy Nation. Yeah, we're not enemies with the Holy Nation. But we are property of them. And we are marked as escaped. So if we let that play along, a couple of guards will come knock us out and take us back to work in a minute. We can see we have 0 money. All we have is our prison uniforms and our shackles. As far as stats are concerned, it's all 1s and 0s for both of them. And here come the guards. So, you know, we have, these guys are gonna beat them up. And, well, cut off an arm. That's not always gonna happen. But in this case it did, so now we're a 1-arm slave. But they will patch you up, see? But that arm is gone forever. But they won't let you die. So, you know, you can escape. You can pick locks. This one is being an obedient slave, so they're just going to work until you take them off of that. But anyway, so that scenario, you will want to escape from there, and that can take some patience and knowing what you're doing to get out of there. It's not impossible, but wouldn't recommend it for your first run. So that brings us to the rock bottom start. And at the time of making this video, I am currently doing a series where I started from the rock bottom start. That is my Outback Pawn Shop series. Should be a link in the description below for that if you're interested. But let's have a look. So this one is also not really one that you would want to probably try out as a beginner. As you can see, we are missing an arm. So you can choose any race that you like for this one. And regardless of what you choose, you're going to be missing an arm. So you're going to have 1 arm and 1 arm only. So let's have a look. See, this arm is gone forever and it's actually still in the process of the stub is still healing. We are hungry already. We don't have anything, don't have any clothes, nothing. Don't have any money. As far as our stats, it's all 1s. We have a look at the map. Let's put us up here in the middle of the desert. And these cities are all owned by the United Cities faction. And it is illegal in this area to be poor. And that's exactly what we are. We're poor, we're penniless, don't even have clothes. So if we try to enter one of those cities, we get immediately arrested by the guards. And we don't only have the one arm. So, yep, not the ideal start, but very fun and challenging if you know what you're doing in the game. Probably would not recommend it as your first try though. But all right, so let's move on. And also, well, we're not enemies, okay, with the United City, but we are, just by being poor, we are breaking the law. But let's move on. So the next scenario is going to be Empire Citizen. So that is a citizen of the United Cities with a little bit of money, 750 cats. So that is going to be in the same sort of area, but under not quite so harsh circumstances. So You can be any race you like for this one. You can see she does start off with some clothing and a simple weapon. So if we have a look here, same sort of area, but we actually start in the city of Shobutai. It's not a bad place to start. Do have a little bit of starting cash. We have, yeah, barely some clothes, but better than a loincloth and a dodgy weapon. So, not entirely penniless. We have a look. Stats are all 1s and 0s as per usual. And, you know, no major enemies. Dust bandits, they hate everybody and they're everywhere. But that is your Empire citizen. So we'll move on now. This one, next one is going to be a little bit different. Holy Nation citizen. So with this one, the Holy Nation, they are racist against anybody who is not human. So, of course, you cannot be a Holy Nation citizen unless you are human. So, this one we cannot choose between any other race. Have to be human. You can choose either sub race. That's fine. Male or female, you can choose either. Yeah, the Holy Nation are sexist. Not to the point where they will attack females or whatever, but they won't treat you with very much respect as a female. You will have an easier time as a male in this start for sure. But nevertheless, let's give it a look. So we have started off here in this city called Bad Teeth, which is a Holy Nation city. There are one or two. I think there is another Holy Nation city that it might start you in, but this does have a few different shops and facilities in this city, I believe. But anyway, got 200 cats. We have some pants, shirt, some boots, basic weapon, and a copy of the Holy Flame, which is the Holy Nation's Bible. It's illegal to walk around without one of these, so do with that what you will. Stats are all at 1s, and we have a tiny bit of good reputation with the Holy Nation. So, you know, we're not allied with them, but, you know, we're going to have to do a few bad things to upset them. So I think that's all there is really to note about that start. So let's move on now. So next in line is the guy with the dog. Can also be a girl with a dog. But it is what it says. And you can choose any race, I believe. Yep. Any race you like. Put it back to the original random one that it spat out. But if we have a look over here, we do have character 1 of 2. Click over here and we have this little guy down here. He is going to be your little doggy. You can name him up here. Don't have anything else that you can customize there. We'll hit confirm. And this is going to put us in a place called Bast. It's up here. This is basically a derelict city. There's nothing, no shops or anything here. There are some residents that live in a couple of these buildings. There's not much here. You can see we start off hungry. The doggy starts off hungry, much like the pack bull. We have all these stats, but your dog is never going to be an armor smith. Our doggy is a pup, and if you can keep this doggy alive long enough for it to grow up, it'll become a teen, then become an adult, then it'll become an elder, and if you get it up to that stage, it'll make quite a good bodyguard. As far as inventory, it does have this space in here, but you cannot put anything in it. This dog will never carry anything for you. All it is going to be is an attack dog and a corpse cleaner. So it's going to eat any corpses that are laying around. As far as our character is concerned, it's all ones and zeros. Got 13 cents to your name. We do have a very basic first aid kit, an iron stick, and a rag around our waist. That's it. So we start off neutral with people, but you know, that can be a fun start. Good luck keeping your doggy alive. You'll need to feed it, and you'll need to feed yourself because you're also hungry. Don't have a lot of cash, but that is the guy with the dog start and what you can expect there. So let's move on now. Now we have the Freedom Seekers. This is probably one of the easiest starts that you can have for a number of reasons. So let's have a look at this one. So this one, you'll have several characters. I think you have 6 all up. Okay, so yeah, 1 of 6. You can have whatever race you like. So we've got 1 here. See, he has a backpack on and a weapon. Number 2 shares a backpack and a weapon. Number 3 has a backpack and a weapon. Number 4, backpack and a weapon. Number 5, backpack and a weapon. Number 6, no backpack, but he's a little bit more equipped for battle than the others. Alright, and you can customize these guys. You can choose whatever race you want for these guys. So let's have a look. And this has put us over here in this way station. And that is the hub over there. Sometimes you will start this particular run will put you in the hub, but not always. So let's have a look. We've got 4,000 cats in starting money. As far as stats are concerned, all 1s there, all 1s there, all 1s there, all 1s here, all 1s here. But when it comes to the 6 guy that was a bit more well equipped, he actually has some fighting skills. Okay, but he also comes with a bounty with the Holy Nation. If we have a look at their inventories, this one has a little wakizashi, one of my favourite weapons, although I do the worst one for training. So, you know, no clothes that actually do anything. But we do have building materials, iron plates, cloth, food, some medical supplies. This character pretty much has the same thing. So does this one, and this one, and then we got this one that has some wheat straw and also the blueprint for wheat straw. So, you know, no armor as such, but and then we get to this one here, where he has some food, some medical supplies. Yeah, well, it's not the worst weapon, but, you know, has a little bit of armor. So, this start, all of this stuff will give you enough supplies to start up your own little settlement or your own outpost if that's what you want to do. If that's not what you want to do, then you can sell all that stuff. That's fine. That's up to you. Completely up to you what you do. But having multiple characters means that if you get knocked out, then one of these other guys can come and patch you up before you get before you bleed out or get picked up by a slaver or whatever. So safety in numbers, and on top of that, you start off with a decent amount of starting materials, particularly if you want to get building. Yeah, this guy does come with the extra stats, but if you don't want him with that bounty, you can just dismiss him like that, and he's gone. He will walk off. He's gone forever. I do recommend that you take his gear before you do that, but now nobody's got a bounty. Personally, I keep him. That's fine. All right, so on to the final starting scenario, which is the nobodies. This is going to be similar in the way that we're going to have a handful of people. We'll have 5, I believe. But not so well equipped as the Freedom Seekers. And it can spawn you in some dodgy locations. That is potluck. But we'll see. Alright, so yeah, 5 characters. Dodgy weapon. Second character. Third character. Fourth character. Fifth character. You can be whatever race you like. You can change all these, customize them. But you're going to have really dodgy weapon each. And in this situation, it has put us over here at this way station. Sometimes it can put you in here, put you in a number of different places. It's pretty random. There's nothing here. Well, there might be some supplies. There are a few bits and pieces on the ground that you might be able to use. Actually, there is a skeleton repair kit there, so if you had a skeleton, you'd be fine. If we have a look, no enemies really. Dust bandits hate everyone. We'll have a look at the inventory. We do start off with some medical supplies. One of the worst weapons in the game. It's pants that don't do anything, and each character is going to be the same, except that one's got the even worse version. Yeah, while that might be the worst weapon in the game, like with a -3 attack bonus and a -3 defense bonus and -10 versus animals, it pretty much ranks it as probably the worst weapon in the game. However, it is very good for leveling up your attack and your blunt weapons. So keep that in mind. But pants do nothing, and these guys are all pretty much equipped the same way. No money, no food, medical supplies. They're all 1s and 0s on the stats there. And you're out in the middle of nowhere. And hungry as well. So I think that pretty much covers all of the starting scenarios. And I have gone over the races, So I think that is probably going to do it for this video. Feel free to ask any questions in the comments below. If you did enjoy this video, please leave me a like or a comment. If you'd like to see more, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.